Hi, hello, how are you? Good morning, happy Monday. It's the 19th. I haven't filmed like this entire month. I did a couple of times at the beginning of the month, but I just haven't really been feeling well. I'm like not super into reading for some reason. I'm probably just gonna scrap all of the footage that I have from the beginning of the month. So far I have read The Grace Year by Kim Liggett, I believe. Yeah, Kim Liggett. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. The premise of the book is that when you reach your grace year, you and all of the other girls in your year, I think it's when they turn 16, you get sent out to this like encampment in the middle of the forest where you're supposed to purge your magic for an entire year. And I really think that it's just a way of controlling the women, because it's awful out there. They have to learn how to do everything on their own, and they fight with each other. And so when they come back, they're like broken women, which is the whole point, to break them and bring them home spiritless so that they can then get married and have children. And they really do think that they have magic, but it turns out that the well is like poisoned. It's got this algae stuck to the sides that is making them hallucinate. And it's super crazy. There are poachers that live out in the woods who will sometimes try to capture the girls, and they try to capture them during their grace year. They skin them and like pull them apart piece by piece, and then they sell their body parts back to the town. And the women and sometimes the men will like consume the blood and different body parts because they think it like helps with sicknesses and fertility, and it's just super crazy. And the like commentary basically on how we treat each other as women in society is crazy, because they think that the poachers are their biggest problem, but in all honesty, when they get out there, they are each other's biggest enemies. They tear each other down, and they get out there and they've spent their entire lives being these like helpless women in society that when they're out there they kind of turn savage against each other. And instead of being like, this is our 1 year to be free from our town, to do whatever we want, express ourselves, they follow the rules even harder. And there's one girl who just completely takes over, and at one point she like rips the ponytail like with a knife, cuts it off, and like scalps her, like all the hair off down to her scalp. Even a chunk of her scalp came off as like a punishment. It was just so wild and such a good book. I highly recommend reading it. I'm also in the middle of 2 books. I'm in the middle of Seasons of the Storm, which is really good. I'm just not in a super big like reading mood right now. It is about 4 seasons. Fleur, Jack, Julio, and Amber, they all represent different seasons. Winter, spring, autumn, and summer. And they work for Gaia and Cronus, who are like Greek mythology people who control the weather. So Jack is winter. He is hunted down at the end of his season by Fleur and killed so that she can then take over the weather in that area and bring spring about. Spring is hunted down and killed by Julio, and Julio is hunted down and killed by Amber. And they just go in this like vicious cycle of hunting down and murdering each other. And Jack starts to kind of like stumble upon some like old information that maybe they don't need to live in this observatory and kill each other. They can charge each other up with their powers and just live outside without having to, like I said, kill each other all the time. So it's really good. I'm just not in a big reading mood. I am also in the middle of The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. I got approved for it on NetGalley, which was a really big surprise. I am participating in the Olympic Games Readathon. I will like put the Instagram down here. I was reading the Grace Year for the prompt of a standalone. Book with a dark cover is Seasons of the Storm. And then I was originally going to read Fire by Kristen Kishore as my random book prompt, but I'm replacing it with The Last Graduate because I'm using logically that it was super random for me to get approved for The Last Graduate on NetGalley, and I just want to read it now. I am, I think, like 30% of the way into that and like 75% of the way into Seasons of the Storm. So if I can finish them this week, then I will be like caught up, and I will read Children of Virtue and Vengeance for the character with a hidden identity prompt. And then the Iron King for a wealthy character prompt. And those will be my last two. And hopefully I'll be able to read those by the end of July. I just haven't been in a really big, like, reading mood. I've been crocheting, and I just recently started doing, like, Uber Eats and Postmates delivery. They're, like, a combined company now. We're trying to save up for a house, and while I make good money, what I make is what I make. And by that I mean that I do not have opportunities for overtime at my job, the way that my boyfriend can sign up almost every week for overtime and like stay late some days, go in early. That's just not an opportunity that we have at my job. There's really no need for it, but it would be nice to be able to, you know, take some overtime and save up a little more. So I started driving for Uber Eats about a week ago. I've made almost $400, which is really great. Unfortunately, I did spend like $200 of it getting my hair done. It was like a necessity. At one point the other day, I like put my ends in the bottom of my hair and rolled them, and so much dead hair came off, and it's so soft now and it feels so much healthier. But I had to do like a hair treatment and cut off like 3 inches, so it was pretty expensive. But from here on out, I can just see her every like 2 or 3 months for a toner, and that's like $50. So it was worth it to spend all of that money in one go, so that it's not so like damaged, it feels better, and in the future it will be cheaper to like maintain it. I've also been sick the last few days. I'm chewing on a cough drop. My throat is just like super bumpy and swollen. It's not white, which would indicate that I have strep throat, which I have had several times before. I think I just have like a minor cold. It's like just enough to make me feel very run down and tired, but not enough. I would rather be like super sick for 2 or 3 days than this, where I'm like kind of sick for like 5 or 6 days, because I started feeling bad on Thursday, and this is now day 4 of me just like feeling really low on energy and having a sore throat and having to just constantly suck on cough drops, or else my throat just feels so raw. So I'm just been trying to relax. I am gonna go do deliveries during my lunch, and then I have to grocery shop at the end of today. One more update is that I bought 2 bookshelves from an estate sale. My aunt runs an estate sale company. I saw them. This is originally what they looked like. They're just like a natural wood. They do fit into the corner, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna put them like that. I am gonna be getting rid of this one. It's just like not a great bookshelf, and I can't have 3 in here. And the ones that I got have 7 shelves. This one only has 5, so I'm gonna be able to fit way more. And I got them each for $20. The smaller one is in the living room. I do want them to be white, but instead of like trying to sand and paint them, I actually bought white contact paper, and I'm currently in the process of like covering the whole bookshelf in contact paper before I move it in. But I'm working today, and I think that is all of my like updates to catch you up. I try to read in between deliveries. It really just depends, but hopefully tonight I will be able to like go to sleep early or get into bed early and do some reading. So if I do, I will update you guys later today. So ignore how dirty my floor is. I'm sitting on that so that I don't get dog hair all over me, but this is the small bookshelf. I already put contact paper on this side, and now I'm gonna work on this bottom section, I think, and do like the bottom of this. I have all the shelves over there, but I'm gonna do those last. So I just wanted to show you guys how it's looking so far. It's really big and I am just so excited for it. Good morning, it's Tuesday. I'm at my desk working, and I just wanted to update you guys because I finally did some reading last night. I am 54% of the way into The Last Graduate. I can't actually talk about it too much because it's a e-arc off of NetGalley and it doesn't come out until September. And just like the rules that NetGalley sets is that I'm not allowed to say anything until after the book comes out. But just to give you like a little bit of premise, in the first book we have Galadriel, or Elle. She goes to this school called the Sholomance, which is like a magical school. She's considered like a witch or a wizard, but it's nothing like HP. It's very much, they spend hours and hours and hours reading ancient texts in different languages and learning how to translate those into whatever English, whatever language that they prefer or that they use, and use those spells. And they do alchemy, they do chemistry classes. It's very much like a knowledge-based sort of magic. It's not just learning simple spells, it's so much more than that. The intonation of your voice. They use mana, which is like power that you build up through, Elle does it through exercise. She crochets because she absolutely hates it and has to put a lot of work and focus into crocheting, and that builds up a lot of mana for her. So she goes to this school. Her mom is like super well known, but she is known for being a girl who's got like a curse basically set upon her. Every time she's ever met anybody, they always say that she's like really unnerving, or people who tell fortunes say that she's destined to like bring about the end of the world. And she just puts off this vibe. It's like, I'm going to hurt them before they hurt me. So she spends most of the first book being a loner, and then she makes friends with this guy, Orion Lake, who is like the school savior. He spends his entire time in the Sholomance saving other kids, and it kind of causes some problems because the school has all of these like monsters and creatures who eat the children and pick them off. And since Orion's been saving all of them, the creatures are super hungry, and they've like formed this infestation in the graduation hall, which is the very bottom level of the school. And the longer that you've been at the school, like you start up at the top as a freshman and you slowly move down until you're in the graduation hall. And him and Elle and a bunch of seniors have to work together to turn on this machinery that's in the graduation hall that is supposed to do like a cleansing and get rid of all of the creatures in there, but stopped working like hundreds of years ago. And it works, and they're hoping it's going to work for their graduation year. So they are seniors now, and it's just Elle going through her last year in the Sholomance. They have to nail down alliances, because when you're going through the graduation hall, you're trying to fight off all of these creatures, and it helps to not be by yourself, to have a group of people who are going to have your back. And also, when you get out, what are you going to do? Do you have enough of your own skill and talent to be on your own, or do you need to be a part of an enclave, which is like a organization of people who are all witches and wizards who you can kind of like get resources and supplies from? And Orion is part of the New York enclave, and they have approached Elle, this is from the first book, and given her a guaranteed spot, and she's kind of like begrudgingly taken it. But I don't really think that's what she wants to do. I think she kind of just wants to go back to the forest and live with her mom and not constantly have people be afraid of her or tell her that she's going to bring about the end of the world. So I am, like I said, 50% of the way in. I'm really enjoying it. I just kind of made myself get into bed last night at like 7:30, bundled up. I had the AC running. I normally read my NetGalley books off of my phone, but it just doesn't have the same feel. So I sent the book from NetGalley to my Kindle app, and I read it on my iPad, and that just gave me much more of like a book feel. I think just because of the size. So I read about 80 pages is what like it's estimated in Bookly, which is really good for me. I think I'm going to try to do the same thing. I go to bed at 9, but I just don't think that that's enough time, like 30 minutes to unwind or do all the things that I want to do, because sometimes I want to be in bed and I want to crochet, or I want to read, or I want to spend time on my phone, and 30 minutes is not enough time to do all of those things. So I think I might be coming to bed a little bit earlier and starting my unwinding process a little bit earlier. So that is my update. I will hopefully do some more reading tonight. Oh, I have my shelves up. The shelves at the bottom have not been installed, but I have kind of figured out where I want these to go. These are Bob's Burgers figures that I have. And then on this one, they're going to be office figurines. And then I need to set up the shelves. This shelf is like a spooky book shelf that I have with like paranormal storylines. These are all of my Sarah J. Maas books, and then all of my Cassandra Clare books, and then just random fantasy books. So I do want to give you a little bit more of a tour later, but they've finally been fully covered in contact paper and are in place, and I am just so happy to have more space. So I'm going to go now, and I will talk to you later. I just finished The Last Graduate, and I own my phone because my camera's in our bedroom, but oh my god, the ending, those last 2 sentences. I can't even process this right now. And it's upsetting that this book doesn't even officially come out until September, which means I am getting no sort of conclusion for like at least 2 years. Oh my god. Hello, it is Saturday. I don't think I'm going to be doing any more reading. I haven't done anything since I finished The Last Graduate, which was just insane. Again, I can't say too much because it's going to be coming out in a couple of months, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but it was definitely a 5 out of 5 stars for me. That ending just killed me so much. So I read The Last Graduate this month, Seasons of the Storm, and The Grace Year. Only 3 books, but it was still pretty good considering it took me a really long time to get through Seasons of the Storm, and then I just like hauled ass through The Last Graduate. My shelves are up. I will show them to you in just a second. I'm gonna have my boyfriend drill some extra holes into the old ones so that I can match it up with the new ones. And I also got an AC unit for our second bedroom. Finally, I just cannot handle not being able to work in there after lunch. It's so ridiculously hot. And this is now my second summer working in that second bedroom, so I feel like it's worth it. I needed it. I absolutely needed it. So let me show you my shelves, and then I'm probably going to end this vlog. Okay, so here are my shelves. I have all of my Sarah J. Maas books here, all of my Cassandra Clare books up there, a bunch of my middle grade books here, and then these are all like spooky books that have like ghosts and stuff like that in them. I've got my Diviner series, Ninth House, a bunch of books by Madeline Rowe, The Damned and the Beautiful, The Bone House, my Bob's Burgers figurines, and then I have some office figurines from a comic book store near me that I want to get more of. So far I just have Michael and Jim. And then here I'm just gonna put some random like books that don't really have any other books to go with them. And then these are all like sci-fi. I'm just still trying to figure out what to do with this shelf, but like I said, I want for Skylar to put a hole like right here on the shelf to line up with this one, and then another one down here for me. And then this is the AC unit. It's going to go in the window there, and it's going to make working just so much better for me. I'm so excited to be able to actually like stay in here for the entire day and not have to like work off my tiny screen from the bed. So very, very exciting, and I'll be able to like wear sweaters in here even though it's super hot outside. So I'm going to go now. My camera battery is flashing at me. Sorry about the mess. But I'm super happy with how this room is coming out. I have so much space for new books, but I am still on a book buying ban while I am slowly dwindling my like physical TBR down, so won't be filling it up anytime soon, but that's good. So I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know how July was for you. End of the month mental health check. How are you doing? This was a pretty good month for me, which was really nice. I don't feel like I had anything that stuck around with me for too long and weighed me down, which was really great. Subscribe, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!